I'm smooth yet sinister, coming through to diminish you, and this here's the finisher. Check it out.
What's going on, guys? Trey coming back at your screen by means of the World Wide Web. And today what we're going to do is we're going to get into a partial 6-star review of the second of the 3 holiday units here. So this time we're going to be talking about Raging Nick, guys. So let's speak on Raging Nick here briefly. Majority of the information is off to the left side. But to get into a few more specifics that we do know at this time, one thing we don't know, and I'll tell you guys up front, the BB and the SBB, which increases the item drop rate for a certain amount of turns, those exact percentages are unknown at this time, guys. We don't know by how much it increases the item drop rate, but as the BB and SBB says, it does increase it. But the leader skill, huge boost to BC and item drop rate. The item drop rate is increased by 5%. The BC drop rate is increased by 24%. When you level in the BB, which has a horribly low multiplier, by the way, so it's extremely weak. It attacks with 3 elements, fire, thunder, and light, which is great. But at BB 10, you get a 5% increase in the amount of VCs that'll drop. And with the SBB, you get a 20% increase to the amount of VCs that'll drop. So excellent stuff. Much better and more acceptable multiplier at SBB 10 as well, compared to the very weak BB. But yeah, that's pretty much the deal with Raging Nick. So let's go ahead and take this guy out on a quick test spin, so we can check out the attack animation and all of that beautiful stuff. See what he's all about. So let's go to our very first mission. Let's bring Dom. Let's go, Dom. Let's check out Raging Nick, guys. One thing I've been forgetting to put in these videos where I already evolved the unit is the evolution materials. To evolve your Nick up to 6-star, you're going to need a miracle totem, a fire totem, 2 fire bulbs, a metal mimic, and 500,000 Zell. I've kind of been forgetting to do that because usually I evolve the unit during the video so you guys can see it for yourselves. But in the event that the unit's already evolved and maxed, like in this case, then I gotta remember to start telling you guys what the Evo materials are. So here's Raging Nick. Let's check out his attack animation. Here we go. Nice. Not bad. So as you can see, the little fire there is shaped like a reindeer. So pretty cool looking. I like the look of his normal attack animation. Alright, so now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to get into Nick's very brief story here. So Nick is a huntsman from a family line of craftsmen and artisans. They lived in the lands far north that are covered in ice and snow all year round. On a lumbering expedition, Nick encountered a Wendigo attacking a small creature. With a fast, careful swipe, he dispatched the Wendigo and saved it. The creature was a wintry elf which resided in the cold forests. He took in the wintry elf, nursed it back to health, and gave it shelter in his home till it recovered. In time they became good friends, and those in the forest were very grateful to him. When it was his time to take over the family workshop, he decided that the wealth that his family had reaped from the land should be shared with the people in need. The elves came to help in his workshop while he taught them the art of crafting and giving them shelter. Soon, word of his deeds spread to bandits and outlaws who were looking for a quick buck. One night, when Nick was out delivering toys to some orphaned children, the bandits raided and plundered the riches of his home and workshop. None of the elves' lives were spared. Nick grieved for weeks, and grief turned to rage. He removed the ice blades from his sleigh and fashioned them into 2 trusty blades he calls Naughty and Nice. Now he hunts down the wicked to gift to the unfortunate. So that's the story of Nick becoming Raging Nick. Was a good guy, but now he gone bad, thanks to the old bandits and outlaws. Alright, so here we go, guys. The BB. Check it out. Trandis Frenzy. Not bad. Not bad at all. So it does increase the BC and item drop rate with that BB. Bada boom, bada bing. That's my man Nick. Alright, so let's get into our pros and cons about him. So, pros about Nick. He's got a unique leader skill, somewhat, increasing specifically the BC drop rate and item drop rates. Not bad there. His BB and SBB attacks with 3 elements, which I think is also another good thing. Fire, thunder, and light. Just make sure you unlock the SBB, guys, because his BB percentage, the damage modifier is pretty low, coming in at 230. Not very impressive at all. It's very, very weak. So unlock his SBB, get it up to SBB 10, and then we'll be talking about a more better damage percentage modifier coming in at 400% instead of a measly 230%. So that's a good thing. And as far as the good things about Nick, that's pretty much it. But his cons, once again, statistically, I think he could be a little better, in my opinion, just slightly. He has an amazing amount of HP, but the other 3 slightly lackluster, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's really about it. But for the first time, guys, here's what I'm going to do with Raging Nick, because I'm sure many of you will agree, Raging Nick can easily be compared to another unit we've already had in the game for quite some time, guys, and that would be my man Zell Knight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post Zell Knight stats off to the right if I can here, and then let's talk about them. So Raging Nick and Zell Knight, very similar units, but also very different units in different ways, but we're going to compare them just for the heck of it. So when it comes to Raging Nick and Zell Knight, I added up the total amount of all of their Lord type stats. We're going to be comparing their Lord type only, guys. Raging Nick came in with a total of 12,008. Zell Knight came in with a total of 11,855. So Raging Nick overall does have 153 more stat points to be distributed about his 4 stats than Zell Knight does. So he's better statistically. To break that down, Nick has 403 more HP than Zell Knight, 155 more defense than Zell Knight. But Zell Knight has 108 more attack and 297 recovery over Raging Nick. So those are the more exact differences, more specific differences in their stats. When it comes down to the BC cost for the BB and SBB, Zell Knight is coming in at 28 for the BB and 20 for the SBB, while Raging Nick here has 29 for the BB and 21 for the SBB. So he's just a hair above Zell Knight's BC cost, 1 each. Now when it comes to the BB and the SBB, they both have a 14 hit BB, but Zell Knight has 1 extra hit than Nick. When it comes to the SBB, Nick has 16 hits, Zell Knight has 17 hits, so you'll get a little bit better BC production with Zell Knight. Another good thing to consider here, Zell Knight only attacks with the Earth element, while Raging Nick is able to come in with 3 elements with Fire, Thunder, and Light. Now their leader skills. Nick specifically increases the BC drop rate and the item drop rate, guys. The BC drop rate, his leader skill increases by 24%, while his item drop rate, he increases by 5%. And that's all he does. And as we know, my man Zell Knight, he increases pretty much everything that matters. BC, he increases by 18%. HC, he increases by 18%. Karma, he increases by 10%. Zell, he increases by 15%. and item drop rate he increases by 3%. And if you were to use the SBBs, Zell Knight adds an extra 15% BC drop rate, and Nick adds an extra 20% BC drop rate. Now, basically, yes, these guys are similar units, they just have a few distinct differences, but overall you can look at them in a similar manner. So basically what it boils down to is, what can these units be used for? Who has the most overall usefulness? Well, here's what I could think of, guys. Raging Nick, my opinion, the only thing you could honestly use this guy for is item farming, because he does have, according to leader skills only, like I said, both Zell Knight and Nick with their BB and SBB increases the item drop rate. Just don't know by how much. But don't forget, in addition, Zell Knight does give 8 BCs to the rest of your squad. Just gives it to him. So Raging Nick, item farming only in my opinion. Whether it be Quest or Vortex, doesn't matter where you're farming the items. That's pretty much his only use. Where Zell Knight, you can use him for overall farming. Anything you need to farm, guys. If you need some items, you can take Zell Knight. If you need some karma, you can take Zell Knight. If you need some Zell, you can take Zell Knight. So he's good for overall farming, and there are many that even use him in arena, guys. Because of that, he increases that BC and HC drop rate, which can help you get your BB gauges filled up in arena, and also give you a little bit more healing from HCs than usual in the arena as well. So my opinion, guys, even though these are very similar units, I think the overall usefulness still goes to Zell Knight, my opinion. If you don't have Zell Knight and you have a Nick, then by all means you can definitely use Nick to take the place of Zell Knight until you actually summon a Zell Knight and raise it and level it. Nick would be acceptable to use. Just remember, his real only use is for item farming. But overall, the better unit in my opinion is still Zell Knight. So just wanted to bring something new to the table for you guys. Get into a little comparison here. I do believe this is the first time I've compared a unit, but these two units were so obviously similar, I just felt the need that I had to kind of add that into the video. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you kind of saw where I was coming from with the similarities as well as the differences, and let me know what you guys thought about that, as it is a new function to the videos. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Our 6-star review covering Nick. Overall, I give him a B+. I don't think he's a horrible unit. He's just no Zell Knight. That's the main difference. He's just not a Zell Knight. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, upper right to subscribe, lower right to check out the previous video, and if you wish to join the Facebook group, the link is in the description, guys. So once again, thanks for watching. Please continue to like, subscribe, favorite, share, comment, and everything else, and I'll be back at your screen with more Brave Frontier Global soon, guys. Later.